On day 21, we will head to Oslo. We'll take a bus to the Sola airport where at Avis we'll pick up a car, drive to the ferry, and take the ferry up Lysefjord. One interesting thing they have in many European cities is as you enter the city, it tells you how full each of the parking lots is so you can choose which one is best for you. We wait on the bus, and then off we go to the airport. There we'll rent a car from Avis. It'll be a Note, and we'll use it for this trip. As we arrive at Lysefjord, we start to see the mountains again. Lysefjord is a rift in the mountains caused by a long-gone glacier. There'll be many sights to see along the way. Here comes our ferry now. Let's watch it dock. We load on the cars and off we go. At the start of the fjord, we pass under the bridge for the main road that runs between two tunnels. Let's sit back and enjoy the ride for a while. We'll see many waterfalls as the snow melts in the mountains. Next we come to Pulpit Rock. It's 1,800 feet high. You can hike up to it if you want to, and it has a great view, but we don't have time. There are many farms up on the hillsides, but some of them have been abandoned by now. Deborah sighted a seal. I'm not sure if anybody else saw it. Here's what it might have looked like. We passed the old power station with the longest wooden staircase in the world. Let's look at some of the images from this trip. Then we come to Kajiragbolt. It's a rock kind of wedged between other rocks. We see a few base jumpers. And then we arrive at Lysebotn. Now our big adventure starts as we'll cross over the highlands to Oslo. Our first challenge is a 1984 road that rises 2,700 feet with 27 hairpin curves and tunnels. It's closed during the winter as impassable. The road's not very wide, as you can see here. As we drive up, we stop at a waterfall to look at it. And then we get to the Eagle's Nest, a restaurant there where we'll eat lunch. And we'll also look down and see the interesting countryside, including Lysebotn and the Lysefjord. See, up here we're above the tree line, but you start going down in elevation and you get more and more trees. People use the Eagle's Nest as a jumping off place for hiking to various spots along the top of the ridges. As we drive on, we start to notice some white patches. We stop to look and it's snow. Obviously, we have to touch. That's what it is this time of the year. If we'd have taken the route just one road further north, we'd have seen this much snow. Deborah builds a monument to her being there. This pillar says Deborah was there. This is the column that Deborah built. So you've marked your place now. As we drive through this area, you'll notice that there are many lakes and mountains in the area. I think this is some of the most beautiful country I've ever seen here above the tree line. Let's look at more of it. Shepherds keep huts here in the summer to tend to their sheep. This area during the winter is under several feet of snow. As you can see, most of the roads are very narrow, so you have to really watch the traffic. This is the road that comes in 45. We'll see many waterfalls along the way also. Creeks flow from one lake to the next as a string. At Eisborg, we visited an old stave church, the way they used to build churches. Let's look at more images of this beautiful drive. The rocks are green in their color because of the lichens of various types that grow on them. During the summer, there are thousands of sheep in this area. In Oslo, our hotel is only a block from the Capitol building, but we drove and drove and drove. To get there, the problem is that the main roads dive under the city in tunnels, and it's hard to get off. We literally spent hours trying to get to the hotel and finally had to buy a city map to try and figure it out. We'll be staying at the Rika Park Travelers Hotel in a very tiny room. The bed almost takes up the whole room, just a couple of feet on each side, and a bathroom. We'll eat breakfast here in the morning. After dropping Deborah at the hotel, I drove to the airport, dropped the car off, and take the train back into the city, and thus ends a very long day.